This is Hart, and what I'm going to make is a little book, which I've already gutted, and a stack of ATC cards that are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. This is going to be gifted to an individual with disabilities, and hopefully this inspires the individual to make ATCs. And each one of these already has a starting point as a background of scrapbook paper. These papers were lovingly donated. This book I picked up at a Goodwill in case you want to make one of these for yourself. These are often available at thrift shops. These small books like this, especially after the holidays. And if it has holiday stuff on the front, you can just change the cover with some glue. So here's my supplies. I have 41 pieces of paper that are cut 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I have a book that fits the size that I'm looking for to hold the ATC cards. This book happens to be 3 inches by about 4 inches. You can see that it fits nicely there. I have a piece of tape that's cut just under 4 inches that I'll layer to strengthen the spine. This is duct tape. I have a paintbrush and my school glue to apply the school glue. And then I have these binder clips that allow me to turn this into something where I can pull off each page. Okay, so just because I am going to, let's see, what do I have here? I have another one just like it. So just because I'm going to make this 41 sheets, so I can rip one off at the end and show you how it works. First thing I want to do is use my binder clips like this and go around on both sides. If you have an upside, pick whatever your upside is. This is my upside. So I want to make sure that my glue is on the left, because if I put the glue on the right, then it would be awkward for them to rip, it'd be upside down. So I know I want to have it go there, this way. So I have my binder clips close to the left edge. And what we're going to do is just use this little box that'll keep it held up, and I'm going to brush glue on the edge. This is just good old-fashioned Elmer's glue. And you can see that I'm just covering it with glue. Then I brush it in. Maybe that was a little too much glue. It's not a big deal if you use just a little bit too much. Why? Because... Why? Oh, don't fall down there. Because you're going to come back and add more glue at the end anyway. All right, one last little swipe. That's good for now. I'll come back and do more glue once that dries, but let's apply this piece of paper just using Elmer's glue. That needs a little bit more. I like the paintbrush because it gets it nice and even. And I like Elmer's glue because it's easily accessible to people. And then here we go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Look at me giving a tutorial. I don't want to keep doing this over and over again, so this is unedited. Except to cut wasted time out. So now to do my spine, I just take my duct tape, which is cut to the size of my spine and then a little bit smaller. I try my best to center it on here. Then I lay it down here. You can see it's not perfectly centered, but homemade is loved. There you go. Now I'll come back with my Elmer's glue one more time, because I'm going to make sure it's glued on nicely. My paintbrush, and I'm just brushing it on like we're adding gesso to a canvas. Make sure I get all the way nice and smooth. You can do that with an old card too, and then I'll do the same here to make sure it's nice and smooth. You can use your glue on the top if you want. You can use an old card to smooth it out. I just chose what felt like a coordinating card. Now I'm going to let this dry. And in the magic of video, you'll see me do multiple layers in between each dry. Okay, I'm checking it now, and it's still, to the touch, just a little bit tacky. I'm going to wait until it's just a little more dry before I add my second layer of the Elmer's school glue. Okay, it's dry enough for me to come back and put a second coat. So, have the Elmer's glue, and just put a bead of Elmer's glue across it. Then I use my paintbrush to make sure it gets in there. I'm not pushing with any weight, not at all. It's not a big deal. And then just because when I did it a second ago, I brushed a little more to the sides, I'm just tapping in the middle. It doesn't matter. You just want to make sure you have a nice coat of glue on the backside. And you'll notice that it's not running across the top part. When I'm using glue often, then I'll just put my brushes in here for a little bit. And I can leave it for a few hours like that. I don't worry about it. And it's not at the wood line. It's just at the brush line. Maybe a little bit higher. But these are super cheap brushes. That's why I use them as glue brushes. Holy smackajanolies. It's dry enough now. So I just take these little ones off. Oops, I have a little bit of glue right there. It's no big deal. It's good to put one on top that you know you're going to be peeling off. So now, just like I did before, I'm going to brush the glue right here. What am I gluing down? I'm gluing down this whole stack. And remember, I have an upside. Grab my brush and just brush it on. If a little gets over, that's really not a big deal. I did choose to use a thicker piece of paper right here on the bottom. This is my upside. So I just want to see if I can get it as centered as I can. Now we'll let that dry. What we have here now is a finished book, now that everything is dried. You can see here that it just sits on the crease beside the spine, and that closes over, so there's a gap right there, which is no big deal. You open it up and it looks like this, and you can turn to any one of the pages and rip one of the pages out. So let's just pick any page. How about this one? You pull the page out like a post-it note and it comes out nice and clean. Looks cool. And it's all done. So if you find these tiny little books, then you know it's going to be perfect for fitting your ATC cards stacked in a bunch of random colors. Look at that. Take care.